I'm honestly a believer that Valheim is the best game I've played in 2021 so far. No game has managed to captivate me and urge me to come back the same way Valheim did in February when it dropped out of nowhere. I had just finished a Days Gone playthrough and I was ready to hop right back into another survival game, and before I knew it, Valheim was on the Steam market. Valheim was not only new, but it was expansive with over 35 plus hours of content ready for you directly at launch for you to explore. The game was fun to progress in. It was fun to kill the bosses. There was linear progression to get through the bosses, of course, but you could do this at any pace and take your time getting there. This game brought back the joy of Minecraft for me, being dropped into this procedurally generated world where there was only exploration for you to do. In Valheim, you could walk in any direction and you'd find something new every time. And that kept me coming back, man, damn. But now, only a couple months away from Valheim's 1-year anniversary, I'm asking myself, will I really ever come back to Valheim? Let me ask you a question. How many Valheim playthroughs do you have? Me personally, when the game first came out, I did 2 run-throughs of Valheim, and that's when it started to kinda lose its charm. Even though Valheim may be an open-world survival game, it still has a content path that the player will go down, unlocking new biomes when they defeat bosses, new crafting recipes. This is a part of the discovery of Valheim. And on your first playthrough, it's gonna be a ton of fun. That's why you play this game, for the first playthrough, learning everything, seeing new bosses and biomes for the first time, the mobs that are there. These new discoveries serve as the motivation to get past the grind in the game, to keep moving forward. But after your first playthrough, once you've seen everything, what do you have? I found myself, when trying to play the game over again, not as motivated to do the things that I did on my first playthrough. Even the thought of defeating the 5 bosses again felt like a drag as opposed to a magical mystery like my first playthrough. I wasn't worried though, because I thought this was normal and there was going to be new DLC on the way. Hearth and Home was only a couple months out and I was ready to hop right back into Valheim when that launched. And so it did launch, and I hopped on for maybe 2 hours. The spark was not reignited from my first playthrough. I thought the new content was cool and, it added more to the game, but it was not enough to reset the experience. And I wondered, games like Minecraft, games like Rust, games like The Forest, they're all similar in the survival aspect, but for some reason this game specifically, Valheim, did not have the same replayability factor. But I soon realized that even though Valheim is a survival game, it's more of an experience. When we think of survival games, we think of games that we can come back to a lot, games that never really end. But Valheim's entire gameplay loop and the foundations of the game are built off of an experience. And I think the game might have relied on this a little bit too much, going through these boss fights, going through this linear progression of the game. It makes it hard to come back and do it all again. Let's not lie, Valheim is a little bit of a grind. You have to mine a lot of materials. You have to go to these biomes to get this stuff. You have to smelt that stuff. It's all damning when it comes to wanting to play again. And don't mistake me for bashing on Valheim. You have to understand that my first playthrough of this game was so fun. Some of the most fun I've had in so long. And for only a $20 game, you get your money's worth. But I'm disappointed to know that it's not one of those games you can easily go back to. And hopefully the updates in the future can change this, but Hearth and Home was not an update that was really even exceptionally worth it for anybody to go back. When people come back to the game, they have 2 options: to continue on their world that they already finished pretty much everything on, there's no point of being there anymore, so they try out the new features from the update and then they get off, or they create a new world, realize that the update's content isn't quite enough to constitute starting a new world, so they get off too. So let's talk about some of the things that maybe could, bring that spark back to the game when players return after a couple months. Side quests. The game does not have enough NPCs. Pretty much the only person that's an NPC is the trader, and we all know he's not moving his ass anywhere. Why can't there be random Midgard roamers in the world that you can just, talk to, maybe have a quest to go kill some enemies, go retrieve some hide? There's this really nice coin system in the game with, selling these rubies, and you can find these coins at a lot of different places, but it'd be cool if you could get them through quests and then use them to maybe buy and sell with these NPCs as well. We could even see NPC towns that you could, trade with and that you could have in the world. The world feels a little bit dead. There's only mobs and you. They need to add some sort of attribute or skill system to make the combat more fun and unique. I understand that the attribute system is planned to come from like foods and stuff, and that's how you get these buffs. However, why can't they take a page out of New World's book and add unlockable skills for specific weapons? Adding cool new abilities might motivate players to go after those, Asgardian tier weapons a little bit more in the game. It also just gives other major goals in the game that aren't on the set paths of the boss. There needs to be more filler in the game that isn't a part of the grindiness or the linear path. They could even eventually add new game modes to Valheim that could even bring the game closer to a thing like Minecraft Factions or Rust. What I want to get across to you guys in this video is Valheim is a great game, but every day I do see it fading more and more because it fails to incentivize us to come back. And maybe it's just me, this is just my opinion, but overall, the next DLCs may need to be more expansive in a less linear way and more building up the fill of the game when you're not progressing towards the game. You guys know what I mean by now, right? Valheim was just such a fire experience, and I just want to be able to come back to it. If you haven't tried this game, drop the $20, grab a friend, have the time of your life. Maybe after that, come back to this video. Let me know what you guys think of Valheim and what I said here today. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and join the Discord if you enjoyed even more. Without further ado, guys, I'm Treyllo. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out.